Why do I feel this Raw was better in many ways than last week's Raw? Yeah, I was live at the Intuit Dome and it was a fun experience with some nice moments. I made a live video on my experience, but this week's Raw gave the present day fans what they want. Before moving ahead, please do subscribe to my channel, folks, if you like wrestling content. So Raw begins strong, with CM Punk out to talk about his victory. First, he speaks about the tragic wildfires, naturally. He acknowledges the tragedy and thanks the first responders. Then, of course, he brags about his victory, rightfully so. He announces himself as part of the Royal Rumble match. Then Seth comes out. Acknowledging his loss to CM Punk, he is distraught, not his usual self. He's not jumping around, dancing all funny. A very mellow Seth Rollins. There's a back and forth, and then Drew McIntyre comes out. CM Punk can't help but rub in the fact that he beat Drew at Hell in the Cell. Basically, by the end of this segment, all three at different times make it official that they will be a part of the Royal Rumble match. This Royal Rumble is going to be stacked, and we're probably going to have a ton of people from the roster. A brawl is about to break out, a potential triple threat match. CM Punk says, let's just get it on right now. But Drew backs out, the audience starts booing Drew McIntyre as he leaves the ring, and that is how this segment comes to an end. Already, things are heating up on this episode of Raw. The present roster is getting the chance to cut promos in the ring. We then have Gable come out. Long story short, we have the debut of Pento, and this was just fantastic all around. The whole segment. Gable starting off acting all confident about beating this mysterious opponent. Then Penta coming out, the grand applause, and then just the awesome match. This was a great match. I love Penta's moveset. Unsurprisingly, he wins. Loved his promo after the match, even though I didn't understand half of it. I just love the energy, and it's very clear that he's pretty much already over with a bunch of fans who are aware of him. I have not seen any Penta matches, but the feel that I got from this match and his energy and just his moveset really makes it clear to me that I'm probably going to become a fan very quickly. He just has that vibe, man, that vibe, and I like it. I think I'm a fan. I'm going to be following him more often every week, and I hope some interesting things happen in regards to Penta. So far, a pretty solid show. Then we have a backstage moment with the Judgment Day. From what we saw, although Liv seemingly forgives Dom for trying to basically get Rhea back last week on Raw after she defeated her, I think there is more to this. I think Dom will be Liv's bitch, basically her slave. Should be interesting. Another thought, what do you guys think about a future Dom face turn? Imagine that. I know it sounds crazy considering he gets booed every time he even tries to talk, but imagine the transition and the arc if the WWE creative actually successfully manage to turn him face. I'm talking long-term booking. I'm not talking, overnight or anything like that. It'd be interesting. I might make a separate video on this. Then we have an unannounced match. It wasn't promoted before the show. Last week, we only got the matches that were promoted and announced even before the Raw debut show. So this is good to see. It's like we're getting back to what Raw was. It's Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser. Is it just me, or has Sheamus been into this for just too long? It was a good match. I like Ludwig and his underdog heel vibe. Sheamus wins. I just hope Sheamus can move forward now. He just seems to be stuck in the same spot. Lots of interviews on Netflix Raw episodes, either backstage or amongst the audience. I actually like this style. It gives a really sports feel and something to do during the commercial break. We also learned that the Wyatt Six have been moved to SmackDown. I have thoughts on that. I was hoping for the Judgment Day to feud with the Wyatt Six at some point. Dom betrayed his father, Liv stole Dom from Rhea, Finn betrayed Damian Priest. It just seems like the characteristics of a perfect target for the Wyatt Six. But now I guess we won't see that. Either way, I just feel the Wyatt Six track actually has lost its way. It's just not how it started. Gunther comes out to the ring for a promo. Great. Gunther talks about how it doesn't matter all the fights that people are having amongst themselves because at the end of the day, he is the champion. Then to almost everyone's surprise, Jey Uso comes out. The audience goes wild as always, yeeting to his song. Jey challenges Gunther to a match at Saturday night's main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now there is no doubt that Jey is very over with the fans. People love him, and in a way it does feel that the WWE hasn't given him the push he deserves. But then that's the story right there, a man trying to prove his worth. That's what we get when Gunther also just mocks him with a smile, saying how he is not at his level. He's only a good tag team wrestler. To see Jey truly break out would be a great story arc, but it's not gonna happen against Gunther at Saturday night's main event. I'm thinking long-term booking here as well. He may come damn close to winning. He may surprise everyone with his ability to hang on for a long time with some nice defense tactics and perhaps some cool moves. But that's it. It's not happening right now. It's now time for the final match of the Intercontinental Championship Tournament. The winner becomes the first female Intercontinental Champion. Literally anyone could win this, and I like that. It was a good match, not great, but good, maybe even decent. Anyways, Lyra Valkyria wins and is the inaugural Women's Intercontinental Champion. Personally, I like matches that just where we don't know who's gonna win. They are more engaging. Whenever it's difficult to just guess who could win. Then we have the New Day being interviewed backstage. Honestly, nothing new here. They are still just complaining about how they aren't getting the opportunity to explain themselves and why they did what they did. So I mean, fucking explain yourself. But nope. Is this maybe getting a bit too stretched now? Apparently we will see them in the ring next week. Let's see what happens. Hopefully something new. Then we get Miz versus Sami Zayn. A fairly short match with Sami victorious. Not much to say about this. Clearly sometimes Miz is nothing more than just a jobber. This was a random match, but okay, it was fun to watch for what it is. Rhea Ripley is next to cut a promo in the ring. So far it's just very clear that this episode of Raw, unlike last week, is targeting the present fan base. There are some stories that are being built. Last week, meanwhile, was like a standalone throwback episode. We had Hulk Hogan, we had The Undertaker. The show was largely a marketing gimmick for Netflix. But again, I did enjoy it for what it was, and I was live. Anyways, Rhea Ripley comes out and makes it clear that she is back on top since she is the women's champion once again. Surprisingly, Nia Jax comes out. There's some trash talk where Jax takes a dig at both Tiffy and Rhea. She says how she will win the Royal Rumble match. She said she would take whatever title she wanted. Jax rips Bayley from being from this city. Then Bayley comes out from the audience, some more promo work, a brawl ensues, but ultimately we have Jax walking away as Rhea and Bayley stand tall. Now it's Damian Priest versus Finn Balor in a street fight. This match was wild. It was literally a brawl between two individuals who just hate each other. From chairs to kendo sticks to tables, we saw it all. The fight went around the ring and into the audience area as well. At one point, Damian threw Finn through an equipments table in one of the lower upper sections of the arena. The paramedics come out. We get a sense that the match might come to an end with Finn just being stretched out. Carlito and JD McDonough come out to be on the side of Finn. However, Damian is not finished. He knocks out both Carlito and JD. He pushes the stretcher towards the ring. He grabs Finn and the fight continues. Finn gets some more assist via Carlito and JD. Suddenly Finn is like what he was before being placed on a stretcher. Ultimately, Damian wins. This was a very chaotic match, in a good way of course. Now I just hope we move away from this Damian-Finn rivalry. Or at least something new needs to come out of it. This entire show actually finishes in less than 3 hours, so this means A 3-hour Raw episode isn't necessarily guaranteed every week. But we still got some decent developments this week, and as we move towards the Royal Rumble, things should get hotter. So, overall, a good episode, and broadly speaking, yes, better than last week's episode, I would say. But, it is what it is. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss, sometimes my opinion might be different from other people's opinions. But this is my broad perspective of this particular Raw, where they're back, where they don't need to really impress anyone, right? They can just make content for fans that are watching WWE right now. Now, in a hypothetical situation, imagine if someone who hasn't watched wrestling ever before, or a long time ago, like in the 90s, watched the Netflix episode and they saw The Rock, they saw Hogan and all that, and now they see this episode and none of them are there, right? So there's a catch-22 situation when you do this type of a marketing gimmick in which they're going to realize that it was just a one-time marketing gimmick sort of a thing for the new era, and that now we're back to just targeting the fans that exist, right? So that's that, guys. Decent episode, liked it, enjoyed it. I hope we build upon this. Until next time, peace out, bye.